you have your script, you have your team. What was your strategy for raising money for this project?
The biggest strategy was, this was my feature film debut. And so, it was less about, hey, invest in this thing and we're going to get all your money back and all that stuff. I mean, that certainly plays a part, I think, with any business, but it was more about kind of, helping to support that next step that I was taking as a filmmaker. And so, in the beginning, when you've never made a feature film before, it is pretty challenging to say, well, hey, look at this example. There's no example to show. There's just short films and what have you, but it's a different ballgame with features. And so, so really it was friends and family that I was coming around and saying, hey, and it was funny because, unfortunately most friends and family didn't have enough money to, even give away at the time. And so, it was sitting down. I had a friend of mine, a mentor who was just very good with business, owns a few businesses himself. And basically he helped me to write a business plan. What is this going to look like? How long are you going to shoot for? If you can't necessarily promise everybody their money back, what can you promise them? What can you give them? And just sitting down and really figuring that out. And then just, it was almost as, not nearly as long, but almost as challenging as writing the script itself, was sitting down and figuring out, okay, if I raise this amount of money, I can shoot for this many days. If I raise this amount of money, I can shoot for this many more days, and I can bring on this many more crew members. And, what we ended up was, a very solid amount. And then, again, investing your own, money, if you're not going to invest anything in it, then why would somebody else? So it's just a constant process of coming up with a business model, coming up with an idea to bring people in on a feature debut, and really, talking to them and discussing what this is going to look like moving forward. Not necessarily with the film, but in a career point. And it's crazy. People get really, really excited to invest in a career in chasing after something that is almost as unattainable as making films. I know personally, when I've actually recently had somebody come up to me and say, I can't get funding for anything. And I said, listen, you put in the work and you show me a solid plan, and I see through that viewing of that solid plan that there's heart there and there's a determination. Easily, I would come up off $1,000, $2,000 to give you towards that goal. Easily, it's really about seeing the work and the dedication that somebody is putting into it, and that's what my friend had taught me when I was creating this business model. So you can sense confidence, and you can also sense not so much confidence, and sometimes you got to fake till you make it, even if you don't know. You're like, we'll see how this turns out. You certainly don't want to do that in front of somebody.
Yeah. You were talking with the guy doing your business plan. You mentioned that one of your angles is simply having people invest in you so that your career can go forward. And that certainly works with friends and family. But were there some other things that you came up with that you could offer to these investors that would be potentially enticing for them to invest in, not just ROI and not just investing in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think the biggest thing is just saying, hey, listen, I have a lot of confidence in this script, and I have a lot of confidence in this film and my ability to hire people that will also help back me up and make a good film. And so, it's really about offering percentages. If you have, basically, I had nothing to offer right off the gate except for my own money into the film itself. And so, it's a lot of like being honest and saying like, hey, listen, it's a gamble. I think that honesty really goes a long way. You don't want to sit there and be like, oh man, I'm going to get you back, $10,000 that you're investing, or $20,000 that you're investing, and I'll get it back to you in 6 months. Well, you can't promise that.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Selling Your Screenplay podcast. If you'd like to hear the full interview, just go to sellingyourscreenplay.com/podcasts. Or to go directly to the episode, just use the link in the show notes. Thanks for watching.